Let's discuss now the pipeline system of your body, that is the circulatory system through which all the nutrients that are absorbed, they're going to reach each and every cell of your body where they're actually needed, where they're actually utilized, right? So let's start with the circulatory system. Let's begin with how we're going to define the circulatory system. All the parts of the body that help in the transportation of various materials in the body, they collectively constitute the circulatory system. So all the parts that are there for the transportation of various materials, right? This can be also in terms of the transportation of the absorbed food, the nutrients, right? It can also be related to the exchange of materials. So the transportation of various materials in the body, they collectively constitute what? The circulatory system. So there are three major parts of your circulatory system. First of all, we have a fluid transport medium, that is the blood and the lymph. So fluid actually forms what? It forms the transport medium, and the example is, we call it as blood and lymph in this case, right? Then we have the controlling center, the main organ of your circulatory system, that is what? It is the heart, the main organ of your circulatory system. Then the path through which the transport medium circulates, means the pipelines of what I am talking about from this transport, from where the transportation is going to occur, and those pipelines are these transport mediums, that is the blood vessels and the lymph vessels. So as a whole, these fluids, they actually form the transport medium in your body. So we have classified fluids into two categories. We have intracellular fluids and we have extracellular fluids. When we talk about the word intracellular, means something that is within the cell, means the fluid that is there within the cell, right? That is termed as what? Intracellular fluid. Now out of 40 liter of fluid that is there in your body, 25 liter is what? It is the intracellular fluid, right? And 15 liter is what? It is the extracellular fluid. So out of 40 liters, we have 25 liters of intracellular fluid and 15 liters of extracellular fluid. This is on average basis. Then if we talk about intracellular fluid, means the fluid that is there within the cell. So what is the composition of that sort of a fluid? It is rich in potassium, phosphatines and proteins, and there are also moderate quantities of what? Magnesium, sulfate ions, right? And very small amounts of sodium and chlorine ions. There is no calcium ion. So the composition of intracellular fluid is such that potassium is the main intracellular cation. You can say that potassium, it is a main intracellular cation, and with potassium we also have phosphate ions and proteins and very small amounts of magnesium and sulfate ions and sodium and chlorine ions also, but there are no calcium ions that are found in the intracellular fluid, right? So this is about intracellular fluids. Then we have the extracellular fluids, which is 15 liter out of 40 liters, right? This extracellular fluid has the main cellular you can say molecule, that is sodium. So sodium actually forms the main extracellular cation. What is sodium? It is a main extracellular cation. So we have sodium and chlorine ions which form the main composition of the extracellular fluids, being sodium the main extracellular cation, right? Why I am calling it cation? Sodium, it's positively charged, so it is sodium cation, right? Then there are very small amounts of potassium, calcium, you can say magnesium ions and phosphate ions. So as a whole, you can say in this case intracellular fluids, we had the main cation, that was potassium, but here we have the main cation, that is sodium. Here we had very small amounts of sodium and chlorine, but here we have the major ratio of this sodium and chlorine ions, while we have in very small quantities these potassium ions. So you can make out the difference between the composition of this intracellular fluid and the extracellular fluid, right? Then what are the types of these extracellular fluids? There are certain examples you can see. We have interstitial fluid. Interstitial fluid is the extracellular fluid, means which is outside the cell. That is extracellular, means which is outside the cell. So interstitial fluid means that is a tissue fluid which is within the tissues. So it is just like seawater. It is just like seawater. Then we have blood plasma. This fluid is present in what? In blood, as the name suggests. Then we have lymph plasma. This is present in lymph, as the name suggests again. Then we have the cerebrospinal fluid, which is there present in the spinal cord, in the ventricles of the brain. This is cerebrospinal fluid, which is present in spinal cord and the ventricles of the brain. Then we have the intraocular fluid. So ocular, just remember the name from ocular, remember that we are talking which is linked to eyes, right? The intraocular fluid is found in the eyeball, right? When we talk about the structure of eyeball, we have vitreous humor and aqueous humor. So the intraocular fluid is found there. Then we have the serous fluid, that is the pericardial fluid, or you can say peritoneal fluid, the serous fluid. Then we have synovial fluid. By the word synovial, just remember we are talking about the joints. So the fluid that is there in the joints, we call that fluid as synovial fluid. Then we have the digestive fluid, means the digestive juices. Then we have the fluid in urinary tract. So that is a part of excretory system. So these are the examples of extracellular fluids, right? The fluids that are found outside the cells. So we have divided fluids into two categories, that is the intracellular one and the extracellular one, right? So intracellular means within the cell and extracellular means outside the cell. So major amount of the fluids is intracellular fluid, and 15 liter out of 40 liter approximately it is the extracellular fluid. So we'll be talking in this sense, we're talking about blood and we'll be talking about lymph, right? So in circulatory system we'll be talking about blood and lymph, which are what? They are the extracellular fluids because they are found outside the cells, right? Extracellular. So these blood and the lymph, they are actually very important when we discuss about the circulatory system, right? So which help in the transportation of various materials. Now these fluids which we have spoken about, they are actually interlinked, they have a relationship. As you can see in the diagram, I just want to explain that how they are linked. See, we have the tissue fluid over here, then we have the lymph vessel and we have the blood vessel. So in the lymph vessel, the lymph fluid is going to flow, and in the blood vessel obviously the blood, which is also an extracellular fluid, that is going to flow. So this is how they are linked, the tissue fluid, the lymph vessel and the blood vessel, they have a close relationship with each other. So these are the examples of the extracellular fluids, and we'll be discussing the blood and the lymph when we talk about circulatory system in detail. So let's begin with blood.